Hello and welcome to Respect the Crit. I'm your host and game master, Ian Duncan. My pronouns are he, him, and I am joined by some incredible people. Firstly, Jamie Lee-Bonés, +1.
Hello, I am Jamie, she, her, and I play Elo, they, them, the modified medical droid. And my +1 is she, her, for now. I'm open to whatever they want in the future, though.
Well, whatever future they're coming into, or whatever future she's coming into, I'm sure it'll be great to have you as a mommy.
Aw, thanks.
And also, our daddy of the dice, Alex Herrera.
Hi, I'm Alex, he, him. I play Beegax Botano, also he, him. I am not a father, nor do I plan on being one right now.
You're a cat father.
I am a cat daddy, but I mean, you know, sometimes I don't want to be. Just just put her outside like Dino the dinosaur in the Flintstones.
Let her munch the trash like that one dinosaur underneath the thing. It's a living.
Well, that's what she did before we got her. Right? She was a street cat. She just ate garbage.
And you're still feeding her garbage, right? Just to
No, I feed her the best cat. Sometimes I think she's better than me, man. I don't know.
We spoil them. We spoil them cats, man.
All right. Well, let's put our cats. Let's put all of our babies aside, our little furries and our little fleshies, and let's jump in. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
Episode 38, Complications. The crew of the Way learn they are not the only beings alive aboard the Dollhouse. They discover the ship's crew mangled and massacred, and a gruesome lab of human and clone experiments being done aboard the Imperial research vessel. After surviving a surprise attack by a terrifying new kind of trooper, Elo's reality-disrupting glitches compelled them to violently remove the mask from their shadowy adversary. Elo, Beegax, and their crew may not be alone in the darkness of this ship, but the promise of credits and salvage entices them further into its depths.
Let's roll the destiny roll.
Doing it.
Hiya.
Oh, one dark side.
One light side.
Okay, good.
I also rolled one dark side.
Fudge.
So we got two dark side, one light side, and I also asked the wills of the Force.
Stupid frickin' wills.
What do they do?
I asked the wills of the Force what destiny they have foreseen in your futures for our fearless fringers, and just barely, it peeked over the edge, and they have decided to challenge you with another additional dark side point.
I already know who did it. I know who did it. I'm gonna yell. It's probably G Soto. I'm gonna yell at him when I'm streaming next time I see him.
How dare you, Soto?
Him or Chick-fil-A Death Fries. One of those two mofos did this.
Called out.
When I streamed last time, they were in my chat, and they were the two. They were talking the most to me and my friend Billy, and they were like, "Oh yeah, on your show, Respect the Crit, we're definitely gonna vote next time." And then they wrote Dark Side, and I'm like, "Oh, what?
Don't vote. Don't vote then."
That surprised
God.
me. That surprised me because G Soto is almost always usually like go Rebels, like light side.
Oh, for sure, 100%. But he was like, you know what? No, let's. I think he said he likes the way Jamie and I adapt to the problems because it's like we fumble our way to victory. He said
Somehow.
something like that.
Just like a Star Wars.
Yeah.
I made a Star Wars. We made a Star Wars.
So we do have an additional dark side point that won't convert to the light side when it gets used. It just evaporates from the game. So yeah, right now we're looking at three dark side, one light side. We're not starting with a title crawl up on the stars. No. This ain't your granddaddy's Star Wars opening. Not anymore. Our camera opens on a mask. And it is a sort of like off-white, contrasting to the dark background of the environment that it's in, which in our focal field, if the mask is in focus, behind it is just sort of this blurry image of this dark, thin figure that is laid out along the floor, and just a dark, creeping pool of liquid spreading out underneath it. And in front of it, in the field of focus that we can see, is this mask that has been torn off of this creature. And we cut, reversing our gaze now onto the being that is holding this mask, LO, the modified medical droid. And you are looking down into the sort of like empty pits where eyes should be, but are now just like nothing but pools of darkness in this mask. From our last session, Jamie, you have done something that is a first in the history of all of Respect the Crit, and that is rolling both a triumph and a despair at the same time in a roll. Now, we talked a little bit about what the triumph is, and I'll talk a little bit more about that, but the despair, at least for now, is partly that you are compelled to keep this mask, to hold on to this mask. This mask that's visage reminds you and looks strikingly familiar to a famous separatist General Grievous. Someone that you have seen before through these like glitches you're experiencing, but I don't think LO has never met. Maybe seen, maybe heard about, but they've never been introduced at a party. Let's just say that.
Right. They probably don't run in the same circles anyway.
Probably not. Also, what with General Grievous being very dead. But yeah, you are compelled. You were compelled to take this, or to keep this mask, and you have ripped it very violently off of this creature that is, or this being that has hunted and stalked you in the halls of this derelict ship. And what that means, I'm going to leave up to you. Perhaps it is you are compelled to wear this mask or attach it to you on your person, or perhaps it manifests that you just need to hold on to it no matter what the cost. I don't know. That is up to you, but you are compelled to keep this grisly souvenir as part of that despair. Now, you also rolled a triumph, and it also came at a time where you were like dealing with a lot of with some of these glitches. And I like where we sort of landed on when we were talking, and we talked about that a little bit, that this is sort of like dealing with a little bit of that trauma and like being able to, have some resolution about that. And I really like that. And you experienced this flash of something different, of meeting with someone else who called you sister. And so what I think how that's going to play out is the next time that you experience one of these glitches, or that LO experience one of these glitches, it won't be random. It will be when you want to experience this. And it will be going back to that place that you sort of stepped away from just before all of this ended, to see what that is in that place that was outside of the war and the strife and the stress that you were having previously. So that is in your control. You can tell me at any time that we're playing, I want to go back there. I want to see what that is. and you'll be in control of that.
Cool. That's very cool.
So what is Elo thinking and feeling when they're staring at this mask, this bloody mask?
I think Elo is mostly hyper-focused on this mask and what it means particularly to them. They're going to grip it very tightly in their hands and will be holding on to this mask for the foreseeable future. And we'll probably have many more of these moments where they're just sitting on the ship alone, staring at this mask. But for now, Elo is going to, I sort of picture almost like a rack focus from the mask onto this being onto the floor. And Elo is going to put the mask in whatever pack they may have for now and look over to Beegax, taking a step closer to this slender, dark creature to sort of investigate. Not saying anything, because them ripping off a face probably is a bit of a shock.
And as you do, you notice, maybe it's looking at Beegax and you're sort of like scanning the other people in the room here with you, of which there are a few, and you notice them, like, all eyes are on you at the moment. Verse, the human woman, is like looking at you, and her mouth is agape, and she has this expression like she's trying to process a lot of information. Like her brow is furrowed, and she's just like squinting at you almost, or just like staring at you, not moving. And you notice Creed, the grand male who's there, the big grand male. All of his eye stalks are looking at you, and his body language, he's got like a big vibro axe. His body language is like sort of gives off the idea that you are a threat. When you take a step forward towards the thing, he actually takes a step back. How does Beegax react to what he's just seen?
So we have Elo literally seconds ago rip off the mask of this creature, and they are now wearing it, or do they have it in their possession? I misheard.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounded like you were just looking at it and then have stored it and in like a pack, or stored it away, maybe like hung it on your pack or whatever. So
okay.
Yeah, definitely stored away, but if possible, visible.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's like you put it you just like put it over your head towards your back, and Barney little like spindles just like joink, like hold on to it.
Clasp onto it, yeah.
Clasp onto it like it's
Don't encourage them, Barney.
Barney doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's like, yes, master.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it's still visible. It's like on their back.
Okay. So Beegax sees this, and I'll say he's pretty keen on reading the crew. Like, he can read Creed's movements and mannerisms, especially, right? So he'll see Creed kind of do the hesitant step back, and then he's gonna kind of put his hand out. Oh, easy, Chief. Come on. And he's gonna walk up to Elo slowly. How you doing there, bud?
Elo is going to look back towards Beegax and sort of scan the room, and looking at the rest of the crew, noticing their unease. Well, I'm doing a lot better now that we are safe.
Beegax nods. Okay, that's good. That's great. And he'll turn around quickly, and without Elo or anyone else seeing his face, he's just gonna kind of go, like, sucking air through his teeth. Oh, this is gonna be a lot bumpier than I thought. He'll look at Verse. Are we good? Do you think there's any more?
Verse is not her gaze does not go off of LO, and she has her. You notice she also hasn't put away her blaster, and she's gonna look at LO. Are we safe?
Well, as long as there's not any more of these things. And Elo is going to sort of disregard the rest of the crew and kneel down to sort of scan whatever this being is.
What are you trying to scan for? What are you looking for on it?
I suppose, though it's humanoid, Elo wants to know the specifics of, like, why it is so slender and dark and, like, it doesn't seem like a human.
Okay, gotcha.
Like, what could it be?
Well, I think you could roll me a xenology roll, or I suppose you could make a case for a medicine roll as well, if that's...
Well, if that's a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, let's call it a... I think it's an average roll, but I'm gonna throw in a black die because it's not something you've really encountered before.
Yeah, but none of us have watched Alien or Aliens versus Predator. It's not available on It's not available on the HoloNet.
Whoever wins, we lose. AVP.
Yeah.
AVP, my dad's favorite movie, by the way.
I rolled 3 successes and 1 threat.
Oh, okay.
Because of that dang black die.
Yeah. What do you think? Well, so I'll tell you what it is, but what do you think the threat might be?
This is an existing Star Wars thing, so I can't, like, make something up about this creature.
You can make something up about this creature.
Okay, I'm gonna notice...
Yeah, we've never heard of this thing, by the way, Jamie. I'm just telling you right now. I've never heard of this thing, whatever this thing is.
I'm gonna notice that the black ooze coming out of it is corrosive and is starting to burn the floor.
Oh, okay. Corrosive blood.
Jamie, why?
Gonna write that down.
I guess Jamie's a fan of xenomorphs.
Okay, cool. I like it. Okay, so here's what we got here. This is definitely a human, or at least it was at some point. And more specifically, it looks like it could be a clone, like from the clone troopers. It's got some of the clone features, but now that the mask is off, even though the face has been, like, disfigured by pulling this thing off of this person, the features are, like, sunken in eyes, like emaciated. It looks like it's been made for combat, close quarter combat. Very quick, like that lithe kind of musculature. It's got these, like, big blades on its hands, and this corrosive blood, as you mentioned, and you realize that this blood, it's like, it's not even blood, it's like some kind of, like, fluid or something. It's maybe like replaced blood in order to give this person, in quotation marks, maybe these, like, abilities that it has to be fast and combat capable. You also notice, and this is really important, it seems to have some kind of, like, cloaking on it.
Shit.
Which is why you think it was able to surprise you in this room. Some kind of personal stealth field.
Why are you doing this to us?
That's cool.
But yeah, it looks like it was maybe a human or a clone specifically.
Yeah, something with modifications, though, like a human with heavy lab time.
Definitely, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
More than an Equinox gym membership, for sure.
Yeah. They were pumping something. It wasn't iron, but...
Well, Ella's gonna look back up at Beegax from kneeling down on the floor and say, "It appears to be humanoid, but with significant modifications, and is going to point out this black, oozy liquid that's probably inching its way through the floor.
Yeah, it's kind of like burning.
Sizzling.
Yeah, sizzling. You don't think, I'll say this, you don't think it's burning fast enough to like drip through to the hull, you know, like it's not like alien blood, but it is very corrosive, like battery acidy kind of stuff. Yeah.
Beegax is probably going to make the sound of what I'm feeling in my head. Not great. And he'll look at it.
So you think this thing was human or humanoid at some point?
It probably started off that way.
Well, that's a good thing. At least we know it's not immune to blaster fire.
And he'll look up at Verse.
We're gonna need to be a little sharper than we were earlier.
Especially if there are more. It does appear to have some form of cloaking.
Beegax nods, like kind of opens his eyes wide.
Oh, wow, great. Okay. Illegal tech. That's pretty cool.
He'll look at Creed.
Hey, big guy, one ear, three eyes wouldn't happen to have, anti-cloaking, would it?
Just jokingly asking him, trying to lighten the mood because he sees that he's tense.
Yeah, and he just gives you sort of like a tense shake his head no. He shakes his head and also one of his eyeballs. His eye socket shakes now.
Oh, great. Okay. Well,
he's gonna get up from crouching down.
We should tread lightly, but quickly. Let's find some more of the stuff we're looking for and get out of here.
Yeah, Verse says, sounds like a plan. And she tentatively puts her blaster away. Now, I'm going to use this dark side point right now.
Already?
Monster.
Damn, okay.
Wow.
No, you know what? Get rid of it. Do it.
We're just trying to have a nice friendly game of respect the crit. And you're over here warping fate in your favor.
Oh, yeah. So, in these halls, as I mentioned the last time we played, like, it's very quiet. There's, like, really the only noise is just sort of like that reverberating sound of the ship sort of just like settling, and every once in a while there'll be this really like a blast of loud like noise that comes over the PAs that is like static or digital glitching, or sometimes like sounds like some kind of message. And that happens again. Like it's like the audio comes on in that you can hear in the ship, and you can just catch like some of it briefly, like blaring on, like breach, lights, T-minus minutes, and
I think Beegax is gonna listen to this, and when he hears the words T-minus, he's like, whoa, wait. And he's gonna calm in if he can. I'm gonna say I have my comms. We have our little device, I assume, right?
yes, you do.
Calm in.
Rat! You there, Rat?
Rat chirps up like immediately on the other end, like you can tell like he's agitated and something's up with him.
Yeah. What's going on? What's your problem?
This is Gur. We apparently have separated from the ship that you are on. We're no longer connected to it. Not sure what happened. Maybe a malfunction. We're looking into it. Rat is trying to figure out what's Oh, wait. Hang on. Do you hear... There's something...
And then the line goes dead.
Click. Rat. Click. Grr. Click.
Silence.
Yeah. He'll turn to the crew.
Okay. Treading lightly is no longer an option. We need to get whatever's on here fast. Because I have a hunch that something bad's gonna happen to either our ship or this ship.
And as I assume, like as that happens, the message blares again, but it's like the random parts.
Minus minutes and
Yep.
yep.
It's sounding more and more like I understand. Like Beegax is kind of getting it.
And so, just to be clear, the clock is quite literally ticking now.
Tick, 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 tick.
Okay.
Cue the music from 24.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. So, we've been on the bridge before, right? Have we been on the bridge before?
Yeah, we were there earlier.
You have been on the bridge, yeah. And you are now in the like science laboratory area of the ship.
And we have to go across to go to the other part where the stuff would be. I think that's where we were going.
Yeah. Where you are now is like sort of the medical area, and in here are like medical supplies. And there's stuff like medical supplies. And there's some that you can just like grab and take, like you could pick up a back-to-pack and like shove it in your pocket, and that's not worth nothing. Like it's worth something credit-wise, and it's a back-to-pack. But there's also like medical equipment, like back to tanks here, like something that you could load onto your ship that are worth a lot more. They're just a lot more difficult to move. Likewise, I think the other thing there are cybernetics aboard here that are probably like stored a deck up in, we'll say, like the middle of the ship. And again, like I feel like you could take a cybernetic arm or something and like stick it under your arm and like go and like not be encumbered. And again, like that wouldn't be worth nothing, but to get like a really big score, you would want like a whole bunch of them, right? Like and likewise we also established that there's sort of like energy or batteries here, like some kind of like fuel container energy stuff. We'll say that that's like down in the maintenance deck of the ship. And again, like you could pick something up and take it with you. Like you could probably take a car battery with you, and not be too encumbered. And that could benefit you. But if you really wanted to turn a profit, you would need to get like a whole bunch of these things. So that's kind of like with all of these things, like, yeah, you can run and dash and like grab one or two things and like have something, but to like make a really big score, you need a bunch of this stuff. And we'll say that in order to like take that, you would be encumbered one by one, and everyone could probably like, move a crate. You got 4 people here, so like everyone could probably like pick up a crate. Everyone could probably like grab a handful of stuff. It depends how you want to do it, but that's kind of like the deal.
I think Beegax would focus on the cybernetic components because he knows that those are its smallest and can be worth the most to the right buyer. So you said they were in a different section than we are right now, because right now we're in medical, or science, and so back to tanks and other type of like medical resources are here, correct?
Yeah.
So I would suggest I'll tell out of character but still in game, I guess I would tell Creed, or Beegax would inform Creed, hey, grab the medical stuff, right? Because he's technically the strongest out of all of us, so I assume he can carry a little bit more weight. And so medical stuff is more useful to us than it is to sell. So I think we need that because we have a doctor, obviously. So he would inform Creed like,
hey, grab the medical stuff as much as you can carry without losing mobility. It's really important that you can move.
And he'd like open up some cabinets and just start like throwing shit out of it, just throwing it on the ground.
And Ella will help point out like what is the most useful.
Yeah, what's has the most value. Creed's gonna take a grab full of that. I need one of you to just like roll me a d10 and to determine how much back to, or how much medical supplies he's gonna grab.
Go ahead, Jamie, because my dice are not here.
Okay, I'm just gonna do it through Google.
Alex, did you think that you were not gonna have to roll anything? What's going on?
I have my Star Wars dice.
Yeah, that's the one I have up too.
I'm getting my regular ones, all right? Sorry, Professor.
I got a 7.
Let's call that 7 back-to-packs.
Nice.
Yeah, so Creed, yeah, sort of like when you tell him to get going. He sort of like snaps out of staring at Elo and like gripping his axe and starts going around the room. This room here that has gurneys and tables of bodies on it, some hooked up to machines that are still beeping, and others that show no signs of life whatsoever. So he's just sort of like,
Excuse me, pardon me.
and just like, like lifting up, pushing aside, and like going through cabinets and stuff.
Can I partition for a thing?
Yeah.
Maybe it's less back to packs in like one of these things, but is there any equivalent in Star Wars to like an adrenaline shot that sort of like brings you back from the brink of death?
I believe
a Phoenix Down?
So, yeah.
No, where it's just like, oh shit. Because I feel like if they're doing all these experiments on people too, that people probably come close to dying a lot, and just like shooting them up with adrenaline would be like, oh no, you're not allowed to die yet. We're not done with the experiment.
Let me offer you this, Elo. Let's talk about this. So, there is something that would basically upgrade your abilities for any agility, intellect, or cunning checks for like a scene, or would allow you to be required to not make a fear check. So which one of those is sort of like what Elo is pointing out?
I think the first one is what I was more looking for.
Okay,
Something
cool.
that's like a jolt, like you're taking a 5-hour energy shot.
Yeah, gotcha. So out of those 7, how many of those do you want? And it can be all 7 if you want.
I'll just do 3.
So we'll go 4 like back to packs or like stim packs basically, and 3 of these injectables, and they'll have the effects of Booster Blue, which is a drug that you've dealt with before, but because this is like medical grade, it's without any of the side effects.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so like 4 Bactas, 3 Booster Blue. Boom, grab that. And
Can you
that is what
overdose on them?
happens.
Probably.
Like if I shot all 3 into somebody.
I think that would be real. So to break it down, mechanically, you can't like upgrade, beyond what 1 dose would do.
Yeah.
But story-wise, like
If I was trying to kill somebody.
yeah, if you want to do something, if you like wanted to do something cool with that in that vein, like story-wise, we could talk about that. Like,
Okay. Just curious. I'm full of questions.
Yeah. How do I murder someone with this? Just in case.
Just
in
in
case
I find myself in a situation.
Every doctor asks these questions, and I'm glad that mine is too.
Yeah. Always, you got to be prepared for every situation.
For
Right,
sure.
right.
100%.
Okay, cool. So it sounds like you're raiding the medicine cabinet, and then you are off to where? What are you doing?
Wherever the cybernetics are, I think would be next.
Up 1 level, he said.
Okay, then yeah, we'd head up. I think I would be in the lead with Verse, and I would have Elo in the middle and Creed bringing up the rear, just in case.
Okay. Yep.
And then
Marching
as we're
order.
walking up to the next level, I assume we have to take the stairs because none of the systems are working. The turbo lift is down, I assume, or whatever would be used. I don't think it's big enough for turbo lift. It's probably just like ramps and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Or man, because it's the Empire, it's probably all like ableist shit. So it's like all stairs, like
All stairs,
Yeah.
no ramps.
Yeah,
no ramps, no tiny lifts, all stairs. Conform, or you don't work here. It's like,
Right,
oh,
yeah.
Shit. I like painting them as the assholes that they are. That's perfect. Beegax would just not pull her aside, but as they're walking quietly.
Hey, are you alright? What's going on with you?
Can we talk about this another time? I mean, we should, but there's a lot to focus on right now.
He's gonna raise an eyebrow.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And the thing blares again. And he just like looks up. It's like a constant reminder. Yeah, he's just like. As a matter of fact, if I can find a wall panel somewhere nearby that's working, I want to Mega Man jack in and just like do it. Like, I know I can't I can't cause any spikes or any slices or anything like that, but I want to get like a system readings. Like, what is this announcement trying to say? Like, I'm gonna try and figure out what is this. Maybe I can get the full version on my console as opposed to like it playing over the entire ship.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a simple computers check. So that's 1 purple.
2 success, 1 threat.
So, yeah, it seems like there's been a breach in the hull of the ship.
Uh-oh.
And life support, or, like oxygen and stuff is leaking out. There is a limited supply of air in here and life systems in the ship. And it is currently running out.
Yeah, so Beegax reading this on the console, and he sees it, and he's like, "Oh, Griff." And it just types away, type.
Okay.
And he'll close the deck, unplug it.
Alright, so that's what I thought. We don't have a lot of time.
He looks to the crew.
Double time. Whatever we're doing, we gotta do it faster.
How do we intend to get off the ship and back onto the way?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Beegax kind of rubs the chin very vigorously again.
I'm hoping that maybe this ship has, like, an escape pod. Judging from how many bodies are on here, nobody got away. So there's gotta be something here.
That's the threat. There is no escape pods.
Oh, no.
They've been jettisoned.
I'll say he learns that when he's doing the readout then. He'll, like, look at it again.
Never mind. No escape pods. Cool.
Possibly suits, then, to give us some more time.
Yeah, you'll be fine, right?
And he'll kind of chuckle.
Just to be clear, droids don't need to breathe, can survive in a vacuum. LO, you will be fine.
Yeah, the rest of us orgies, though. We need air.
I really, for a second, thought you said orgies. And
Orgies?
I was like, what?
I was trying real hard to go orgies.
Well, hey, when you know it's all gonna
organics.
end,
One big pile, please.
one big pile.
Not my favorite thing to do, but, I'm gonna die. So.
Right, yeah, that's like not Beegax's thing at all.
No, not at all. Yeah.
He's like, well,
I'll watch. Whatever.
I'll watch. Yeah, I'm not gonna participate. Just interested.
Yo, I'm on board for like a Creed verse and LO threesome. That sounds really hot.
Beegax would be very out of place. He's like,
This isn't doing anything for me.
yeah. It's like when you're at the party and you're just like at the buffet table, like
Yeah.
continually
or you're
eating
like
chips.
focusing on the
Good
pet
shrimp.
that's there at the house.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, hi. I'm going to talk to you as opposed to other human beings.
Right. To legit, like if I Ian Duncan was at like a real orgy, that's totally what I would do. I'd be like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
All
Sorry.
right.
Pardon-moi.
Have fun. Be safe.
Yeah, not to get too into it. I don't see it. Like, I don't understand. Like, in artsy movies and stuff, it's like, oh, cool. Paints a scene. But in real life, I would be like,
In real life, it's like, how much extra work
Yeah.
there's
that
a
all
lot.
must be.
There's a lot.
I have enough.
Jesus.
I have enough trouble just like with one person,
One.
let alone
Yeah,
like
right.
multiple. Like it's too much for my head.
Yeah.
I don't think I have the ammunition. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna let everyone down.
Sorry, it's not for me.
If you'd like to hear more about this, Patreon.
Patreon after dark.
Patreon. Yep.
We should start one of those so we can throw some of this good content up there.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
By the way, yeah, that's like brr, you hear the alarm go off again. By the way,
Okay.
Beegax now is visibly upset because he's like,
Anything else the ship wants to throw at us?
he's like growling, getting into that feral mode almost, and then he'll kind of calm himself.
Okay, suits, yes, that's probably the way to go. Maybe they're in the cargo hold. I'm not sure. The ship is really big, so I don't know where the suits would be kept. Any ideas?
I mean, there's got to be some sort of outdoor access for like when maintenance needs to be done on the outside of the ship. I feel like suits would be there. Would that be cargo?
I was thinking cargo, or like if there's like a
Engineering.
janitor spot.
Yeah.
Engineering, something like that. Yeah. I don't know what it would be, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Jamie. I think there's probably a place for like maintenance to access, and that would be in the lower decks. I also think like if you found an airlock anywhere, like as you know, or as your characters know, all the airlocks have been sort of like damaged or malfunctioning. So it might take a little extra effort to like get access to them, but I think you might also find stuff there. Also, I am looking at one light side point.
We are going to wait for you to use more dark side points, though.
Okay, all right, okay, cool.
Because you used one. Did you use a reusable one, or did you burn?
No, I burned the one
Good.
right away.
Get it out of here.
Yeah.
Good. Get rid of it.
I think then as we're making our way towards the upper deck, we're just keeping an eye out for any airlocks, any sort of like key, I don't know what you call those, like signs where they have all the arrows pointing where things would be.
Oh yeah, like
Directional signs
yeah.
or anything like that might head us towards maintenance, things like that as we're headed towards the upper deck. And hopefully we'll have enough time to get the cybernetics, and
that's probably the last thing we're going to get, I think, before we head out, because now there's the clock, and we realize we have to spacewalk. So that's already...
And y'all need to breathe. I'm hoping that we find a suit that will fit Creed, though.
I was just thinking that. Like,
He's
I
a
think...
good boy.
Yeah, like Creed's like looking
fit in a
around. Yeah, like Creed's looking around, and he looks at all of you, and he looks at you specifically, Beegax, and he's like,
Are we gonna find something that's gonna fit you and me? I mean, this is the Empire we're talking about.
You know what, big guy? I don't like to think that far ahead because I know that sometimes those answers aren't what I want. Let's just focus on finding the suits and an exit point, first of all. Alright, let us put it this way. I'll make sure you get back to the ship safe before I get there, alright?
Okay.
Verse chimes in. Speaking of safe, can you get Rat or anyone or Gur or anyone else on comms? Like, what's happening? It didn't sound good.
No, it's not.
And he just, like, matter-of-factly looks at Verse.
They lost communication with us and something got their attention and they're detached from us. I'm very frustrated with the situation that we're in right now, so just give me a second.
And you'll see him just kind of, like, rubbing his chin vigorously again as they're double timing it into the upper deck.
Obram's on there.
I know.
Oh, he was taking a nap.
I'm sure he's fine. Obram's a very capable man. He didn't get to live that long being a dummy, right?
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
There are plenty of places to hide on the ship.
Yeah. It's a YT model. Lot of hidden compartments. It's in the brochure, actually, if you go buy a new one.
But he has a bad back. It's hard for him to bend and, squish and squat.
Well, you know, the crew quarter lockers are taller than him, so he could just... Creed, I don't have time to worry about Obram right now. I'm sure he's fine.
And you see him just, like, shake his head, like, stop.
We gotta go.
Yeah.
From the information that Beegax got off of the panel, can Elo set some sort of internal timer to show how much time we have going, so that when it gets closer, I can be like, all right, this many minutes, guys, we gotta go. And we don't have to rely on this broken intercom.
You absolutely can. So let me think of how the best way to do this. I think I'll just explain how the mechanic works, because I think in game, you know, I don't know how much time it is, you know, it could be like an hour or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? But mechanically, just so you know, what's happening is I am setting a timer for 15 minutes. And for each 15-minute interval, it is progress moving towards life support functions going out.
Oh.
There are 12 rounds of this 15-minute intervals. We are on round 11. and in 5 minutes we will be on round 10.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's going down.
Yes.
It's going down, yeah.
Countdown.
We've done 5 rounds then.
You've only done 1 round right now.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
We have 11 more rounds.
Plenty of time. Let's
Of
just steal the whole ship.
15-minute increments.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, so that's that yeah. And you can always, like, if you're checking that, you can always just check with me, like, how many rounds do we have, like, or what's happening.
I like this.
So.
That's a very, very interesting system. I like it.
I like it too. Very cool.
Yeah, very good job.
I did just think of one positive to our little situation here. If life support goes out, all of the other baddies that might be on the ship will totally die.
Sure, and you'll be the last one alive, hello? Yeah. And then I get to make my bounty hunter character.
You are double timing it now up to these new levels, and you're moving through these halls, these hallways that seem to, like, they're always curving, and it's like you could just can't see what's on the like at the very end of them, and they branch out to different areas of the ship, always with these, like, amber lights just, like, twirling in this like, and Beegax is in the front, right? With
Yeah,
Verse.
I would say Verse is either right next to me or she's diagonally behind me. I just need her up front because she's I realize she's quick and she has, like, basically the best perception, I think, out of all of us.
Yeah.
So she's, like, a really good point person, but I remember her being... I'm basing it off of, like, in-game terms where she can't take as many hits as Beegax has in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's accurate.
That's kind of the reasoning behind it, yeah. And then, obviously, he wants Creed in back because Creed, although slow on the draw when things are getting heated, he's probably one of the strongest out of the 4 of us. And then Elo is, of course, our medic and needs to be in the center. They need to be looked out for. So that's kind of the reasoning behind it. And if Elo ever wants to switch positions, obviously they're more than welcome to do.
I
so.
don't know that Creed would be very comfortable with Elo in back right now, so I think where I'm at is good.
Yeah. That tracks. Okay, so Beegax, how do you react to the blaster fire that shoots into the wall right in front of you?
It stops. Like, he just makes this noise. And then pulls out his blaster rifle, looks in the direction where it came from while taking a few steps back, if possible.
Yeah, you step back, like flush against the wall as you can to take as much cover as you can, and you hear a voice somewhere ahead of you, but unable to, like, pinpoint a location visually. That's far enough. If you got any weapons, put them on the floor. Come out with your hands up, and I'll be knowing who you are.
Oh, what a griffin idiot. You realize who I am?
And he's gonna look at Verse like, why did I say that?
Yeah, she's like, why did you say that?
I don't know.
You hear the voice laugh as well, and it says, did I also forget to mention you're surrounded?
I'm gonna look down the hallway behind us.
Drop your weapons, come out with your hands up. Let's get going.
I have a better idea.
And I'm gonna, even though I don't know if this works, I'm gonna, like, cock the disruptor pistol or whatever and make it charge up. Mm-hmm. And say,
We can hold out here for, I don't know, what was it, 15 minutes? And then we all die together, except for my team. Because I have someone who doesn't need oxygen to live.
yeah, I'm going nuts. It's just, like, he's trying to play I'm crazy. But
Right? And, like, we don't have time for this, dude.
yeah, he doesn't know how far he can go, but he knows, hey, I don't have time to fight you.
Yeah. That sounds. It sounds like you're doing, like, maybe a little bit of a coercion check or something like that.
Yeah,
Is
either
that-
coercion or deception. One of the, like, I'm trying to lie or push them to move towards a path I want them to move towards.
Gotcha.
So you can interpret that however you want and tell me which one works best.
Gotcha. And what's the path you want them to move towards?
I want them to talk to me instead of trying to rob me.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So yeah, roll me a coercion. I mean, I think you could make a case for either coercion or deception. So
They're the same.
So let's call that. I think that's an average check with a black die because you don't know what's
Yeah.
on the other end of there.
Makes perfect sense.
And I'm looking at a light side point. I'm
Nope.
just
Stop.
saying. Okay.
Nope. I don't want to hear it. I was just gonna compliment you too on how you're judging and ruling for dice have been very fair today, but now I'm not gonna say anything.
Compliment rescinded.
Compliment is just as an example. Holy balls! 1 failure, 2 threats.
Well, he is not coerced.
Yeah, he is not coerced. That did not happen.
Yeah, so more blaster fire, like just like shoots at the wall, and it's like, that's your last warning shot. It's either you come out without your weapons and your hands up, or all little talk is over.
Is this voice similar to one of the ones we heard playing that game? I remember one of
Sabak?
I know that one of them had an accent, so
Yeah, no, this
Okay.
sounds different. Yeah,
gotcha.
for sure.
Just checking.
That's just me being shit.
Beegax looks at Verse and says,
We don't have time for this, but we have to get through.
Okay, so what's the call? We want to just do what they say, see who's out there? I mean, could be anybody.
Let's find out.
and he turns the corner and blindly fires down the hallway.
Oh, nice.
It's very reminiscent of shooting into the crowd at the swoop.
Okay, got it. Let's roll some initiative.
Little do we know, Ian rolls for like 40 people because we actually are surrounded.
Oh my god, please no. Please no.
I got 2 successes.
I got 3.
I have a crew NPC, then PC, crew NPC, and these other NPCs go last.
And how many of those NPCs are there?
Well, we're gonna find out.
Okay.
First to act as a PC slot, I would suggest Beegax go ahead and
Yeah,
and go
I'm
first.
gonna turn as I'm turning and firing blindly. I also want to look down the hallway to see who I can see as I'm firing.
So you are firing blindly. This seems kind of a little bit reckless to me. So I'm gonna give you a black die, and also they have some cover here. So I'm gonna give you another black die. So that's gonna be a 1 purple difficulty and 2 black die.
Got it. 1 success. And that's it.
Okay, so what's that damage?
Damage.
Give me that damage.
Discharge pistol, damage 10.
Okay, yeah. What does it look like when you disrupt this person?
Is it the one who was talking, or is it somebody different?
Well, you don't know.
Well, whoever they are, they get hit in the chest and they get jowled and just vaporized, and then their clothing just kind of gets pushed back by the force of the disruptor blast, and then it falls to the ground.
This person is no more, and immediately you hear, okay, hold up, all right, we're done.
I look at Verse and Elo and Creed.
See, I told you guys.
They're like, everyone's like in Charlie's Angels pose, like ready to ready
to go.
Yeah.
As Beegax looks at his crew, smiles, kind of turns away, not looking at anyone, puts the gun away.
Did not think he was gonna go down that far. Oh.
He'll put his gun. He'll put it away, but then he'll like have his hand over it still, cautiously.
So what you see is a booted foot like kick a blaster out into the hall, and you see someone step out from cover with their hands up. It is actually a really striking young woman. She's in like awesome leathers, like leather jacket and like leather pants and these like tight leather boots. She noticeably has this like really pale blue skin and this really like this like lavender sort of like pinky lavender hair that's like done up in a braid, and like it's like roguishly out of place, you know? And she has these like really piercing yellow eyes. You would probably recognize her species as Pantoran.
Pantoran.
And if you'd like to know more, you can make a roll.
I just want to look at what they look like. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They're like pale blue humanoids.
Oh, from Clone Wars.
Yeah.
On the ice planet moon.
Yeah. They're
Oh, yeah.
been featured in Clone Wars for sure.
I don't think Beegax really cares to know more about him. He's just more interested in why the hell this one was trying to rob him on this death trap of a ship. And so he'll walk up to the blaster that was kicked, and he'll pick it up, and he'll hand it to Elo.
Hold on to this.
And then tell them to come out, the other two. Or whoever. It's one or two. I don't remember how many you
It's
said.
just this woman.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, okay, you can come out.
And she comes out with her hands up and she was like, okay, so you called my bluff. Good on you. That was the last of my crew. What do you want?
Well, we're here to loot and to get the criff out of here.
Do you have a ship?
I do.
Well, not anymore.
Yes. Beegax looks at Elo, nods.
Yeah, that's nice.
She puts her arms down and just like crosses them in front of her body. Well, you probably saw my ship floating out there. The opportunity. They get in touch with you? You able to get in contact with them?
No.
We scanned that ship too, didn't we?
We did, yeah, and it was like, nothing, there's nothing on board.
No, we didn't. We didn't hear anybody.
And then he'll look to the crew and then back.
We also didn't see anybody when we scanned.
So your ship, whatever you came in here on, you been in contact with it recently? 'Cause I'll bet a bottle of Tavraki whiskey you don't got a ship anymore either.
I mean, it's still out there, you know. We have
Yeah.
crew.
Let me guess. No communication, cut off, can't get back aboard. Sound about right?
Quite familiar, yes.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Then welcome to the club, or welcome to my new ship. And she like looks around. I don't have a good name for it. I'll think of that later.
Yeah, I'd call it like purgatory or something.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Look, I really don't have time to chat here, so thank you for the gun. We're gonna do what we came here to do and get the criff out of here. We have a plan of escape. You're more than welcome to escape with us, but you're not getting rearmed.
What do you think I've been doing on here this whole time? What do you think we've been doing?
You've been failing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because I'll tell you what, there's no getting off this ship. I thought you were going to be our ticket, but it sounds like you can't get out either. We're all trapped. Let me ask you something. You seen like shadows creeping across, flying around in the corner of your eye? Feel like something's watching you?
Yeah, we took care of one.
Wow. That took out my entire crew. Well, it took out most of my crew. You took out what was left.
He looks at the clothes.
Hey, you know, sorry about that, but I told you. Like, I warned you. Let's put it that way.
I'm warning you. You're not going to get off of this place alive. Not without my help.
He looks at Verse, kind of like he looks at her, and looks back at this woman and puts his finger up.
1 second.
Goes to Verse.
What do you think? How's your bull criff meter going off for this one?
Oh, off the charts.
He'll look at Elo.
What do you think?
Can I check that time, Ian?
You are on, just now in fact, round 9.
Okay.
So he just wasted 2 rounds because of this woman here.
Yeah. Elo is going to relate that and just say, we have T-minus 9 rounds until we are fully out of oxygen on the ship. That is what I think.
Thank you, Elo. Hey, I'm gonna call you Blue. It's a little racist, I know, but we don't have time for this right now.
Names, loss of rhymes. Thank you very much.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Your name is Blue, and we ain't got time for you.
And he will continue. He'll just motion everyone else to move to... I assume we're on the upper deck, so we'll move to wherever the cybernetics are located on this floor. And he'll relay back without even looking.
You're welcome to join us. Just, give us tips and tell us where things are on the ship. But as far as your quippy commentary goes, I don't want to hear it. Larsa, right? Lara, what was it?
Lossa Rames.
Larsa, yeah, sure.
He'll look to Creed, and he'll go, oh no, he can't do 2 because he has to hold do 3 fingers.
3 fingers, like,
and
watch.
then hey, watch her. Yeah, bait, watch her.
Yeah, so you want to keep going? Now, do you care if Lhasa is following you or not?
No, not really. She's got no guns. We didn't search her 100%, but if we die, she's pretty much dead too, because she has no other plans to escape. So I'm not too worried about her. Also, I'm gonna look at Elo as we're walking. How much time? I'm gonna ask earnestly, and I don't know if mechanically you can check, but I'm gonna ask her or ask them.
Can you calculate how much time it'll take us to go from the cybernetics area up here to the nearest auxiliary port or auxiliary exit, and then run that against how much time is left on the clock?
Can I do that, Ian?
Yeah, I think that you can.
We now need 4 suits now, so thanks.
I mean, technically there's going to be 2 people who already fit in suits. Larsa and Verse.
Yeah, it's just you and Creed.
Creed and I, we're going to have to pull a Princess Leia, hold our breath and force our way.
And use the Force, naturally.
Yeah, naturally. It's okay.
Okay, Creed, now we gotta show off. This is it.
Yeah, Elo, you make those calculations and you would have enough time. The clock is ticking, and again you hear that T-minus until...
And I think whatever calculation Elo comes up with for the time, they are going to tell Beegax 15 minutes earlier, just because, the friend that's always late, you always tell them to get there 15 minutes early, just because it's you're going to be late, so you might as well show up on time.
Okay, so Elo actually says you have less time than the amount of time that you have.
Yeah.
And when saying that, they'll also say, but that is also contingent on us finding enough suits. If we get to the auxiliary port and there are not enough suits, we would then need to go to the next port.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. I'll figure something out by then.
And obviously, he doesn't have anything planned. That's not... He's just more concerned with ensuring there's a way out. So... I guess he'll continue going towards the cybernetic center, or I guess it's a cybernetic storage center or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah. You can hear Lhasa just kind of behind you, where are you even headed? Do you think that's an exit?
No. It's part of the loot. Relax.
He's shouting back, not even looking at her, and he looks at Verse.
Is that what I'm like to deal with sometimes? Is that what I was like before? Or just...
don't worry about it. What are we gonna do when we get these suits? What are we thinking?
I'm thinking we find a port, get the suits, one for you at least. Locate the ship outside. It's gotta be close by. Can't be too far. We can probably see it in visual range. I can maybe ping it, or ping Rat from where we're at. He's not gonna like it. And get him to give me his position. If that doesn't work, then I know we're absolutely griffed, because there's no way that that little guy can't survive. He's a survivor. That's kind of why we brought him on board. But if he's gone, everyone inside is probably gone too.
I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, what if the worst has happened? I don't know about Blue over there, but if she had a whole bunch of people on here and they didn't make it and she can't get in touch with her crew, if one of these things tore through an entire crew, I'm worried what it's going to do to us, and I'm worried what it's going to do to our crew.
The only difference I can see between her crew and ours, it's actually a pretty big one. Everyone who's joined has had unique skills, and one of them, the one who's not here, one of them one of them who's on the ship is literally a spy, capable of surviving amongst enemy territory and in enemy culture. Say what you will about his attitude, but Gur's good at what he does. I mean, we took one out. I don't see another one being too much of a problem. I think if there's more than one at the same time, that's when I would worry a little bit more.
What's this? What's this?
That's
Jamie?
Elogan.
That's
Elo
my
flipping
let
the
me
gun.
at him.
Cool. Verse just kind of like gives you a solemn nod. She's like, I got a bad feeling about this.
I have bad feelings about everything I do every day, every minute I wake up. And yet here I am.
That explains a lot about you, you know?
Yeah, they had like a personality test when I was part of the academy. I marked immediately pessimist. Right away.
I don't care. And,
Good talk.
And he'll continue walking.
Yeah, so you keep going, and you find your way into, basically where they're storing cybernetics and stuff like that.
Beegax immediately goes for, like, he knows there's, like, small storage with locks that normally is like, oh, these are chips and, like, chipsets and things that are of, like, vital importance when constructing, like, cybernetic arms, like, the components of it, right? And he feels that those would be more valuable in terms of, like, cost effectiveness of what I can grab now and sell later. These would be better to grab than whole arms, which would be worth more, but they're heavier.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's totally doable.
Like a lower cost, but a lot more of them, I should say.
Yeah. So there are certainly that. There's certainly like the chips that you need for cybernetics to work. There are also arms and legs that you could also like just take. You could both roll me perception checks. Let's call it an average, just 2 purple.
Oh, good, because I was not going to roll good.
Yay!
Why are you doing Jurassic Park?
Da, da,
I don't know.
da, 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 da.
Because I was going to make a Jurassic Park reference earlier and I forgot. So that's 1 triumph and 1 threat.
I got a threat as well.
Yeah, so the threat is, let's say that the threat is, man, there's a lot of good cybernetics on here. There's a choice to be made here. You can you can shopping grocery sweepstakes. What is that? Like shopping cart sweepstakes, like dump a bunch of stuff in or and get something for it. But the real prize here is like a lot of this stuff is in bulk. You have never seen this many cybernetics. It seems like they're being utilized here to like build people or like, you know, like augment the people that have been the subjects of these experiments. But yeah, that's the choice to be made, I guess. That's the threat. Those are looking real good, like getting crates of these things. The triumph is there are cybernetic eyes.
I knew it. I was going to ask about these.
Yeah. There are cybernetic eyes that, when installed, can assist with your perception checks.
Literally, we're cyberpunk. This is 100%. So Beegax sees, and if I can paint the picture, Leanne, if you'll let me.
Of course.
Beegax sees the stuff that you mentioned. He's like, and he continues grabbing the little like little mini boxes of like the chipsets and the components and puts them in his pack. And then he looks across, and then in this room, which I envision being dimly lit by a pale blue light coming off of these like containers or like corner wall lighting, he sees a flicker of a light, like a light that's been that's going out but then trying to stay on. And he'll see against the wall a fridge and all these eyes in like different shelvings, and he kind of walks over to it as everyone else, I assume, is just kind of digging through stuff. And he'll slowly creep over and he looks at the fridge and he sees bottom shelf, there are like 2 little containers of eyes, and one of them has been marked Doug. Like it's got compatibility with Doug, or like it says which races it'll be compatible with, and it's obviously one that they just left at the bottom. And he looks over back at the crew.
What the hell?
Opens it up. He takes the box. It gets a flashback of that other slicer who bested him easily. but who I think she got killed, if I remember correctly, in the office, or she left. I don't remember. She's still alive out there.
You exploded her face, though, a little bit.
You did do some damage to her cybernetics for sure.
Yeah. So he'll look at the eyes. This'll work. And he'll put that in his coat. Like, that's his. That's not getting sold.
Got it.
He puts it in there.
Can Elo grab one of these crates and make Los Rames hold it?
Oh, yeah.
Elo's just gonna say, well, you could be of use, you know. Here, hold this, since you won't be firing anytime soon.
I feel like that's also like maybe that's like a persuasion or maybe even coercion check.
Okay.
So if you want to go ahead and give me that, I'm going to call this, well, I think it's an average check, but I'm going to flip a dark side point.
Oh.
And upgrade one of those purple to a red. So a purple and a red to like get her to schlep this stuff, basically.
You said coercion, right?
I think you could make a case for coercion or persuasion. You're basically like, I think whichever one.
I don't think there is a persuasion.
Oh, is there no persuasion? It might be negotiation.
Negotiation.
Gotcha. I'll do negotiation. 2 advantages, but 1 failure.
Damn.
So yeah, I think what happens is like you hold this crate out and say what you said, like you're not going to be shooting, and like try to drop it in her hands, and it just like boom, like lands on the ground hard, and she's just got like her arms crossed, and she just gives you like she like looks down at the thing and then like looks up at you like. There's no way I'm carrying anything for you.
Notated for when we exit this ship.
My ship, she says.
I like her. She's spunky.
Yeah, she's got no leverage whatsoever.
Nope. None.
But she's got spunk. I should also mention, there are... there's these cybernetic eyes on your Triumph, but there's plenty to go around, too.
Okay. I definitely grab one for Elo. So in all, I think he'll grab 4. If we're just doing raw numbers, he'll just grab 4 of them.
Okay.
Because I envision them having some sort of container that's pretty substantial.
I love the idea of like you go into a freezer and they're like in there. Like, I think that's cool. So I need, Alex, I think it's you. Roll me a D10 of, and you got a Triumph. So we'll carry this over. So roll me 2 D10 to see how many cybernetic chips and eyes and stuff you get away with.
Whoa! Okay, hold on. I gotta get D10s. It's been a while. So I got DK. That's one.
Also, you hear 13 minus in it.
I look at Elo. I don't want to listen to that thing, but how much time?
Elo checks their internal clock.
You have 8 rounds remaining.
We have 8 rounds.
15, Ian.
15, and that's with, of course, that's with both. Okay, so
Yep,
15. Yeah. Okay, so you've got 15 cybernetic stuff.
I'll say 4 of those are ice, and the other 11 are the components.
Sounds good to me.
Let's GTFO.
Yeah, I'm ready to bounce.
We have to find the suits, obviously.
I want to get this part resolved. I'm gonna be so fucking nervous if we don't get to that part.
Tensed up like all month until we play again.
You also hear, picture the silence as you've been doing this, and now it's broken up by your footsteps reverberating through this ship as you're like running a double time, trying to watch the shadows of the corridors around here to make sure that you won't be ambushed, but that you can get what you need and get out. And you've got this extra set of footsteps, Los Rames, sort of trailing behind you, maybe out of curiosity, maybe out of desperation. Another sound reverberates through the ship, and it's just like a vibration, like just a enormous vibration. And there's like some kind of mechanical sound going on, and you can just hear it like vibrating through the walls of this ship. There's like a big thump, and then just like this whine that's just like, and it's just continual. It eventually stops, but the silence has been broken in this ship somewhere. And you're looking for an airlock, right?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Because that's where we think that there would most likely be suits.
You find an airlock. And, well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip the last dark side point. So we only have light side points.
Oh, thank God.
Table.
Yeah.
And there are suits you can see. And they are on the other side of this airlock that the controls and functions of have just been destroyed. It's like malfunctioned and broken. And just on the other side of this door, like through that viewing screen, you can see suits in lockers just on the other side. And I need you to roll. Let's roll a d6.
Both of us? Or just one of us?
Just one of you, and see how many suits are there.
I mean, I could use one of these 3 light side points to say that there are plenty of suits.
Yeah, you could.
You know what?
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're gonna need those light side points.
How many are there right now? How
You
many are there?
absolutely
3?
could. There are 3, yeah.
Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
I'm okay with you doing
I'm
that.
doing
Hell
it.
yeah.
There are plenty of suits. There's like so many suits. Too many suits.
Flipping a light side point, there are enough suits for everyone. There's even like a slightly bigger suit for Creed, and there's a suit that Beegax could wear. It wouldn't be comfortable, but it would.
It's like
yeah.
a human
It would-
child suit.
Yeah.
But it would
Young
be-
adults are like
Yeah, but
little
it would,
men's or whatever it's called.
yeah, young men's. But it would be safe to wear. Might be a little bit floppy, but would be safe to wear. And you can see him on the other side of this door. And yeah, you just hear Lhasa like leans back and she's laughing. She's just laughing.
The controls, they are destroyed, right?
They are destroyed.
Are they external controls or are they built into the wall?
They're built into the wall.
Okay, Beegax is gonna go over to the wall and rip out the face panel, just throw it off. And it's not computers per se, it's mechanics, because I have to try and like, I'm gonna try and hotwire it so that I can use my deck. So it's like a double step program. I have to do the guts of the system, and then I have to do whatever hacking you're gonna ask me to do or whatever. But essentially what I'm trying to do is fix the wiring and then make it so I can hook it up to my computer and at least make it pretend like this is the panel.
I love it. So you rip this panel out, just like clatters to the floor, echoes through this long hallway. Lassa's laughter, like that, like laughter of just like someone who has given up almost. And you start to do you start to like try and rewire this to gain control of it, stick it into your deck. And then you hear the laughter stop. And that's when the shadows shimmer and come to life, almost as if appearing out of the very atmosphere itself. Dark limbs flexing and reaching, elongated by bladed talons glinting in the dim emergency lighting. Several more of these terrifying troopers emerge from the darkness, their eyes burning with malice as they move in to surround you. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Respect the Crit Empire's Edge. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting us by giving us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It's easy, free, and helps other people learn about the show. And we love reading your feedback. For more information about the show, visit @RespectTheCrit on Twitter and Instagram, or come chat with us on our official Discord server. Beegax is played by Alex Herrera, who you can find on Twitter @AE Herrera or on his Twitch channel, WadeWolf10. LO is played by Jamie Lee-Bonés, who you can find on Instagram @jamielee.bones. I'm Ian Duncan, your GM and MC, and you can find me @idunks on Twitter and Instagram. The original music featured in this episode is provided with license or permission by a variety of talented artists, whose information and credits are linked in the show notes. Please support them by visiting their platforms to check out more of their work, and tell them how much you like their music in our show. The Star Wars role-playing system is published by Fantasy Flight Games. And remember, whatever the system, whether it's a miss or a hit, you always gotta respect the crit. Thank you very much, and may the Force be with you. Sorry, can you say that one more time, because somehow you activated Siri on my computer?
What?
What part? What did I say? Did I say Siri?
Oh,
I did
no,
just
I
then.
think, yeah, or maybe it was me. Anyway,